And it's the need of the hour when we are here today to talk about diet, because diet is something that is one of the main reasons for these non-communicable diseases.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bubble Chat Season 2. And we are here with one of the best nutritionists, Dr. Surbhi. Welcome, Dr. Surbhi. She has a beautiful experience of 20 years in nutrition. She's there in Medanta. Welcome, Dr. Surbhi.
Very good afternoon to all of you. So I've been working for Medanta for close to a decade now, and have been handling majorly lifestyle disease patients. So my forte is managing weight and lifestyle diseases like cardiac disease, fatty liver disease, and so many more like this. And it's the need of the hour when we are here today to talk about diet, because diet is something that is one of the main reasons for these non-communicable diseases. So I'll be talking about something, I want to talk about how you can practice healthy eating in your daily lifestyle with this corporate, working employees all around, and everybody has a very hectic lifestyle, how you can still make better choices and stay healthy.
Very interesting, optimal eating for a healthy lifestyle. So that's an interesting topic because everyone needs it. So I want to ask Dr. Surbhi that what does optimal eating mean, and why is it important for a healthy lifestyle?
Let me first talk what is food and nutrition. So anything that you eat or drink is referred to as food. But when you eat the right kind of food with right kind of nutrients, like you fuel your body with the optimum nutrition to get the best out of your body, mind, impacts of stress and physical work that you do, and you're still able to carry it well. And the food that supplies with all this is referred to as nutrition. So optimum eating. So you want to know what is optimum eating all about. So eating a diet which is balanced diet and provides you with all the nutrients in the optimum quantity. Now, what are these nutrients? Nutrients can be divided into two categories: macro and micro. Macronutrients are the ones that are required in larger quantities, like your fat, proteins, and carbohydrates. And micronutrients, very, very important again for us, which are required in small quantities. These are vitamins and minerals like vitamin A, vitamin D, B, C, K, and minerals n number like calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, so many. So all these nutrients, when you get them in the optimum quantity with the right kind of food that you eat, that's what is referred to as optimum diet.
So, Dr. Surbhi, I want to ask with this, like how many calories per day should we take, being a female and a male?
I mean, it's very difficult to really pinpoint that how many calories a person, in general takes. There are a lot of factors for males and females. Again, the age, body structure, and ethnicity. But for Indians, generally around 1600 calories for a sedentary lifestyle for females, and around 1800 to 2000 calories for males with a sedentary lifestyle. The calorie requirement can also change on basis of the disease or any underlying medical issue. So it varies on basis of your age, on basis of your lifestyle, and on basis of your, male or female.
My next question to you is, can you please explain the relationship between diet and overall health, and how do our food choices affect our well-being?
So what you fuel your body with is what your body will work on. So it is the choices that you make makes a lot of difference. The kind of food that you eat impacts your overall well-being, not only physical but even emotional and mental well-being. And there have been a number of studies to even support that emotional well-being is also related to food. So very important that we eat the right food. For example, if I talk about general, let's talk about the if somebody is eating a diet which is very rich in saturated fats, trans fats, or sodium rich, then the chances of becoming hypertensive, this high blood pressure, is very high. So risk factor for heart disease increases. Similarly, if a diet is calorie rich, then chances of gaining weight and weight related issues is high. So again, a risk factor to develop lifestyle disorder increases. The kind of choice of food that you make, for example, if a diet is deficient in nutrients, for example, deficient in calcium and vitamin D, then the bone health gets impacted, and chances of becoming osteoporosis is high. That is weakening of the bones that can happen. For youngsters, especially the young ladies who are not following a very healthy lifestyle, chances of infertility is very high. Similarly, a diet which is very high in sugars and fats, it's considered a little inflammatory diet. And these inflammatory diets can have an impact on the emotional and mental well-being. And it has been well proven. So somebody asked me that what can I eat to have a better sleep, to feel mentally better and healthier. It's a diet which is rich in fruits and vegetables and less in sugars and processed food. And because the inflammation is less, the body is more positive, the gut is taken care, so the immunity is better. So that's how the food choices impacts your health and well-being.
So, okay, my next question is, many people struggle with balancing their diets. And what are some practical tips for achieving a balanced and nutritional diet?
So I'll talk about explaining something very broadly we call in nutrition as food groups. So there are 5 food groups. Now these food groups have been divided on basis of the nutritive value they have. So broadly there are 5 food groups, like proteins, which takes care of your pulses, legumes and all the non-vegetarian food items. Then your grains, which is the staple food for us, vegetables, fruits and milk products. So these are 5 food groups. Eating from each food group in the optimum quantity and the right kind of food from each food group is what is needed. So let's talk about fruits and vegetables. On an average, around 2 to 3 fruits per day for a person and for an adult is required. That when I ask patients, how many fruits in a day do you have? There are, most of them will be eating 1. So a little more, maybe 2 fruits is what can be practiced every day. Now, in what form of fruits to be eaten? So whole fruits is what is needed, not fruit juices. So fruit juices will be high in sugars, they will be lacking fiber. They are a good substitute of sweets, so include them in your diet, at least 2 fruits. Now, when I say 2 fruits, it's also important to understand the serving size of a fruit. So a serving size is what is the term that we use in nutrition, is the portion that is recommended to eat. So one portion of fruit will be size of a closed fist. That is around 100 to 150 grams. So approximately this size of a bowl, the size of your closed fist, that size of a bowl cut fruit is 1 fruit. So that's how you can keep a check. Similarly, for grapes and berries, a handful of them will be 1 portion of fruit. Then comes vegetables. Now, fruits are there, but vegetables are also equally important. In fact, they need to be eaten double the quantity of the fruit. So increasing your vegetables is very, very important, and eating some raw vegetables is very important. Now, the question comes, when you eat raw vegetables, a lot of people also are reluctant that they are loaded with pesticides, so we like to cook them. 4 servings of vegetables need to be included every day. So 4 servings means 2 katori cooked vegetables. The katori is a bowl size or a cup size. So 2 bowls of cooked vegetables and 2 bowls of raw vegetables. So in Indian cooking, what is eaten? Dal, roti, sabzi. So chapati can be stuffed with vegetable to increase the vegetable intake. Soups, vegetable soups can be included, sauteed vegetables, or the regular sabzi quantity can be increased provided it is not loaded with oil. Now, if you're eating a gravy vegetable, so obviously the gravy is more than the vegetable quantity is less. So a little more of the quantity, the gravy vegetable, depending how thick the gravy is. Now, why fruits and vegetables are important? Because they are loaded with fiber, they are loaded with antioxidants, and they are very important for people having high blood pressure, because it's a part of the DASH diet, which helps in reducing blood pressure naturally, because they are loaded with potassium, magnesium, fiber, which helps in reducing the blood pressure naturally. Then comes the third fruit group, which is milk and milk products. So milk and milk products, at least 2 servings of milk, but milk has to be low fat. Remember, from milk, you make butter or clarified butter. So it is loaded with that cream. So remove that and then use the milk. and 1 glass of milk is 1 serving, so 2 servings. Now you're not having milk all the time, you can have paneer, you can have dahi. So 1 bowl of dahi is 1 serving, 30 grams of paneer is 1 serving, so variety can be included. Similarly for grains, so at least try to have more of whole grains. At least 50% of your grain should be whole, so which is not being polished. Millets are also part of whole grains, so they can also be included in the diet. And then comes the last, which is pulses and legumes. Now this is protein. Now protein is a very, very important thing. In Indians, it has been seen that the protein quantity is very less than what is required, and conscious approach needs to be done to do meal planning and include a protein source in each meal. जैसे ब्रेकफास्ट में स्प्राउट्स इंक्लूड करे जा सकते हैं, and in lunch you can have dal, and for dinner probably paneer can be done. Egg whites can be eaten if you are a non-vegetarian. Chicken can be included. अब now chicken, मुगलई chicken रोज नहीं खा के कभी खा सकते हैं, बाकी दिन chicken can be included in different forms where too much of oil is not needed to cook it. So such things can be followed by eating a balanced diet from all food groups. Optimal eating can be easily achieved.
So, like, let's suppose we do every week, like every Monday to Saturday, we follow the whole lifestyle and the whole lifestyle modification of diet. And Sunday, people do binge eating. Yeah. Is it okay to do that? Or
I mean, cheat days are absolutely fine. So it is a very common thing when you ask the patient or people that I do not take alcohol every day, but over a weekend probably I do binge drinking. So we all understand when a binge drinking happens, it's difficult for the body to handle so much of alcohol at one time. Similarly, if you follow a good lifestyle of eating balanced diet the entire week and binge eat everything for the week on a weekend, I mean, not the right way.
So my next question, Dr. Surbhi, is how can people address emotional eating and develop a healthier relationship with food?
So very important that food is something that needs to be enjoyed, but don't relate food with everything. I mean, with sadness, food should not be there. With happiness, it should not be like related to your emotions, that if you're sad, then you binge eat. If you're happy, you binge eat. You're socializing, you binge eat. So you have to develop a healthier relationship by understanding that food is there not to compensate for something else. So if presence of unhealthy foods around you makes you do binge eat or emotional eating, then ensure that you do not have those unhealthy foods around you all the time.
So, Dr. Surbhi, so what are the potential risks or consequences of extreme dieting or fad diets? And how can people avoid these pitfalls?
First of all, what are fad diets? We need to understand. So anything that is just being, you just read, there's Google doctor around and, people find something extreme on the social media or somewhere and they start following point blank. That needs to be discouraged. It's not the right way. Get yourself assessed because, before going on any extreme diet, you need to be, physically fit also, with whether it's really required. So we've seen, people who are already on a leaner side still trying to lose more weight and following some extreme diets. It leads to malnutrition, nutrition deficiencies. It needs to, insulin resistance. Sometimes a balanced diet is needed because on any extreme diet, some or the other major food group has been, it's like either asked to leave carbohydrate, just focus on protein and fats, or leave one particular food group and just focus on one. It will lead to deficiencies of nutrients. You will have an imbalance in your body. It can lead to slow metabolism also. Or, there are now different more research is being done where intermittent fasting is also becoming popular. That can also be followed under proper guidance. You have to eat food to nourish your body. You don't need to undernourish, you don't need to overnourish. But yes, weight is becoming a problem. So everybody is struggling to lose weight. So core problems need to be addressed. Is it, eating too much of unplanned meals that is leading to weight gain? Is it a lack of physical activity? Or like you had just mentioned, some emotional eating that is leading to weight gain? So those need to be identified. There can be some medical underlying issues also, like hypothyroidism or some other medical problem that can lead to weight gain. Perimenopausal women find it difficult to lose weight and they gain weight very easily. So is postmenopausal. So there can be some underlying, medical reason also. So that needs to be identified and addressed accordingly. Very important to understand, no one diet fits for all. Every individual is different. Every person needs a diet that fits their mental and physical state. So very important to understand the lifestyle. That's why when we do diet, we call it diet counseling. We do not say diet chart. Diet charts are n number available everywhere. It's the diet counseling that makes a difference, where we prepare you and prepare the patient or the person going through a modification in the diet in such a way that the adaptations can be done easily. And weight, it is weight modification, it is not weight loss. So it's the person to person it varies, because the lean body weight, the muscle weight, that also the composition of the body is different for everyone.
That's great. So, Surbhi, so how can people maintain motivation and consistency when adopting health and eating habits in the long term?
So remind yourself continuously about that what is the purpose of eating healthy? Is it just because everybody around you is doing that, or is it really that you feel it from inside? So it's important to prevent chronic diseases, lifestyle diseases. See, ultimately, the whole idea is to have better quality of life and longevity. That is what is needed. So whatever life you have a healthier lifestyle with life without any medical problems. It can be followed easily by having realistic goals. Set realistic goals for yourself. I mean, if you are on your ideal body weight, then what is it? You still feel overweight, or you feel that you're not in the right, your weight needs a little more modification. Take a consultation, understand the composition of the body. Is it the fat percentage which is high and the muscle mass which is low, which is the most common problem? Then maybe some exercise need to be introduced so that some muscle strength can be can come back. And foods that are contributing to increase in fat percentage can be restricted. We do not say eliminate, we only say restriction of a food that is not too good for your body. So not that person who is trying to follow a healthy diet needs to be off sugars completely. They need to just restrict. Nobody needs to be on a boiled food to follow a healthy eating habits. Eating food which is cooked every day with the right oil quantity is what is needed. Now, what is the right quantity? Let me just explain that also. So on an average, a person needs not more than half a liter of fat per person per month. That is around 3 to 4 teaspoons in a day. Now, let me explain you also the teaspoon size. So the thumb that you see, the first line of the thumb that you see over here, the first line, that size of a spoon is 1 teaspoon, which is 5 ml. So 3 to 4 teaspoons of oil is needed. कोई भी एक oil लंबे time के लिए use ना करें. Keep changing the type of oil. The method of cooking is also very important. Not that you cannot have desi ghee. Of course, you can have. If it's around 3 teaspoons in a day, 1 teaspoon can be your desi ghee. Rest can come from vegetable oil. Try and avoid, please do not use dalda or, the hydrogenated fat in your diet. Now, vegetable oil ki choices can change. You can use maybe olive oil. It can be canola, rice bran, soya bean, mustard, groundnut. So combination. And for a family of 4 members, around 2 liters of oil should be consumed. So what has been seen that in most of the Indian households, where people are trying to follow, avoiding fried food and not cooking too much of parathas and puris at home, still the oil consumption is on the higher side. So the question comes, where is this oil going? It is going in your sabzi. So sabzi, that vegetable that you're supposed to eat in large quantity, I just mentioned, and if it's loaded with oil, it becomes a source of calories also. So keep a check on that.
So how can corporate professionals make better food choices when dining at restaurants and or ordering or take out during work hours?
Why you have to order? Why you cannot carry it from home? That is very important. We have been, n number of times we've been telling, try to have home cooked meals. I just mentioned that kitna tel istemal karna chahiye. Now, example that you're eating out of 30 days, 15 meals or maybe 26 days working रहता है, 26 meals या 20 meals outside खाए, तब भी oil consumption उतना रहा, तो बाहर वाले oil का कहाँ गया count? So there are a lot of cloud kitchens available which do home type of cooking that can be done. Plus snacks को plan करना जरूरी है. Main meals can still be managed by not ordering those biryanis and heavy gravies. Maybe a normal dal, roti, sabzi can be ordered. Idli, which is steamed, can be eaten. Kala chana chaat can be eaten, and it can be ordered from Zomato. Believe me, I've ordered it. It's very nice. There are places which are giving very nice kala chana chaat.
Okay.
Sprouts salad can be eaten. Once in a while, unhealthy food can also be eaten, but not every day a packet of chips, because कहीं ना कहीं तो impact body को करेगा ही ना. अभी नहीं करा, अभी young हो, after some time you'll just suddenly realize that your blood pressure is on the higher side because you've always loaded yourself with too much of sodium. So such things can be practiced. Handful of nuts can be eaten. We already have roasted chana available here. These are your avla, I think.
Yeah,
so that's
avla.
the avla, that can be eaten. It's a best source of vitamin C. And vitamin C is very important for your immunity, and also very important for iron absorption. So those of you who have iron deficiency anemia, vitamin C is very important, and amla is one of the best sources of it. Then nuts, a handful of mixed nuts, and believe me, cashews भी खा जा सकते हैं. इनसे कोलेस्ट्रॉल नहीं बढ़ता. जब तक फ्राई नहीं करते देसी घी में, तब तक कोलेस्ट्रॉल नहीं होता है इनमें. So they can be eaten. And dates, whenever you have those sugar cravings, they can be eaten. Okay. So many food items, if you start seeing, you'll be able to see that there are lots. And those of you eat non-veg, maybe an egg omelette can be eaten, or boiled egg can be eaten. Some protein will go. So जब प्रोटीन बीच में खाते हैं एंड फ्रूट्स खाते हैं, सो आपकी शुगर क्रेविंग थोड़ी कम हो जाती है, बिकॉज प्रोटीन भी शुगर क्रेविंग में कम करता है. Smoothies can be you can drink smoothies which are not loaded with sugars, without sugar, because fruit का अपने आप में sugar होता है, so you don't need to add sugar. So added sugar के बिना they can also be.
That's great. So Surbhi, like I see that professionals like these corporates people are coming from far side, 2 hours of traveling, commuting, and in between that, when they feel hungry, what should they eat while traveling?
Natural है कि lunch सबका around 1 to 2 के बीच में हो जाता है, and the dinner time is around 9, because by the time people who are traveling from far away they reach home, so there's a long gap. Now in between क्या रहा कि you keep postponing your hunger कि घर जाके कुछ खाएंगे, बीच में बस चाय and biscuits ले लिए. Biscuits will not make you feel satiated. You'll not feel your hunger will not subside for a long time with that. You will feel hungry very soon. जब आप लॉन्ग ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं तो जाने से पहले कुछ एक अच्छा स्नैक, जैसे लंच में चपाती लेकर आए हैं अगर, तो एक चपाती एक्स्ट्रा ले आइए. मे बी अ रोल ऑफ चपाती कैन बी हैड विद अ कप ऑफ टी इन द इवनिंग. फ्रूट रास्ते में ट्रैवल करते समय खा सकते हैं. नट्स, they are not very, they don't need too much of space, they can be easily accommodated. A handful of them can be eaten. So such things can be easily followed, what I just mentioned. By the time you reach home, try to have your dinner. First thing should be have your dinner, rather than have tea and snacks and then delay your dinner further. अगर आप 7-7:30 बजे भी घर पहुंच रहे हैं, so it's hungry, have your dinner. If possible, please have your full meal, your chapati, dal, sabzi, so you will feel full. रात में अगर भूख लगती है, then probably you can have your fruit. So those thick tips can be followed depending on your travel time and your working hours. Meal timings can be adjusted and snack times can be adjusted accordingly.
Great. So what should be the ideal time of having food? From morning to night, ideal time. So
ideally, breakfast should be eaten within 1 to 2 hours of waking up.
Okay.
Which is not really followed in India, because 6 बजे उठते हैं, breakfast होता है 9 बजे.
Correct.
And housewives का 11 बजे. So that needs to be addressed. Okay, for a daily eating, optimal eating में अगर हम बात करें तो early timely breakfast should be done, and a breakfast can be अगर प्रिपेयर इलेबोरेट करना मुश्किल है, तो सिंपल ब्रेकफास्ट में भी चपाती कैन बी ईटन. ओट्स ले सकते हैं. ओट्स में soluble fiber होता है, and studies have shown that soluble fiber LDL cholesterol, which is bad cholesterol, को कम करने में help करता है. So oats become a superfood. We were talking about superfood, so it becomes a superfood for that reason. So oats can be included. Those of you who do not like to eat oats porridge as such, it can be included in different forms. इडली भी बन सकती हैं, उसका पैनकेक टाइप, चीला टाइप बन सकता है. So lot of things can be done out of that, and even उपमा can be made from oats. So breakfast का time उठने के 1 से 1.5 घंटे के बाद, in between एक light snack if possible, or a cup of tea with some on the go kind of a snack, like maybe just a handful of nuts can be eaten. Then lunch आपका 1 से 2 के बीच में हो जाना चाहिए. Dinner time should be around 8 o'clock. So that is the way. And in between again, शाम को 4-5 बजे a snack, depending on your meeting timings and your travel timings, it can be adjusted.
Great. So Dr. Surbhi, I'm seeing some plate is there, and what is all about? And
Yeah,
please
so
explain.
this plate is something that I was talking about, that how you can practice healthy eating in your daily lifestyle, and you don't need only for Indian cooking. This can be for any type of cuisine that you're eating. Even while eating out, you can follow this. कि आपकी plate जो है, a half plate should be filled with vegetables. So a bowl of sabzi, a bowl of salad will take care of that. A source of protein in each meal. So protein can be dal, it can be paneer, it can be tofu, it can be rajma, lobia, chana, even your chicken, fish, or even egg. That can be part of your protein. And some whole grains. So this is how your plate should be. So it can be any cuisine. So for example, if you're eating a continental meal, so good serving of sautéed vegetables, some grilled chicken or fish, or maybe tofu, and maybe a boiled potato or a sweet potato, or some rice, or bread can be on the side. Now why I said potato in place of cereals? बिकॉज जब हम फूड ग्रुप्स डिवाइड करते हैं, सो पोटैटो जो है उसका न्यूट्रिटिव वैल्यू एक अनाज के जैसे ज़्यादा है. इट्स मोर लाइक ग्रेन. दैट्स व्हाई इन फूड ग्रुप्स पोटैटो डज नॉट कम अंडर वेजिटेबल्स, इट कम्स अंडर ग्रेन्स. सो इफ यू आर ईटिंग आलू की सब्जी विद चपाती, तो एक्चुअली आप एक ही फूड ग्रुप का खाना खा रहे हो. सो मिक्स इट विद समथिंग लाइक मटर कैन बी एडेड, और यू कैन ऐड पालक विद इट. सो एनी वेजिटेबल अलॉन्ग विद दैट. सो that's what needs to be followed. I mean, it's not too much of it if you look at it. It sounds too much when we discuss, but अगर आप practically अपनी daily उसमें देखोगे तो कुछ नहीं करना, बस ध्यान रखना है कि सब्जी थोड़ी ज़्यादा खानी है, और तेल थोड़ा कम इस्तेमाल करना है, और मीठा थोड़ा sparingly use करना है. So मीठा is an addiction actually. Sugar is an addiction. So more you eat, more addicted.
That's true.
The scientific reason is that when you eat sugar, it converts into blood glucose very soon, and immediately comes in your blood as a blood glucose, and आपकी body को immediately energy मिलती है. So बहुत कम मेहनत के साथ body को energy मिल जाती है, तो brain को message जाता है, this is a good thing, it gives energy with less work, so eat more. So you eat more and more and more. It's like a craving that keeps happening. So you have to have a discipline. You have to be strict with yourself. So to maintain weight or to follow healthy lifestyle, you have to be a little firm with yourself in that transition. So once you get habitual to it, then you will wonder that why I was eating so much of sugar. दूसरा रीज़न होता है, कई बार शुगर क्रेविंग्स इसलिए भी होती हैं कि आपका मील बैलेंस नहीं था. आपने लंच में चपाती खाई नहीं, बस सब्जी और सैलड खाया, और फिर शाम को लगी भूख, एंड देन यू हैव अ पैकेट ऑफ बिस्किट्स विच इज एक्चुअली sugar. Not having carbohydrates, which is anaj or grains, in your main meals can also make you crave for sugars. Another reason can be that your gut bacteria is not in the right state. So you need to eat more probiotics. So probiotics अपनी diet में जब डालेंगे तो थोड़ी sugar cravings कम होंगी. And the last reason can be diet lacking in protein. अपनी एक meal में protein rich meal खाइएगा. जैसे आपने ग्रिल्ड पनीर खा लिया, ग्रिल्ड चिकन खा लिया, या फिर चना खा लिया, चने की चाट खा ली, एंड देन आप देखेंगे कि शुगर क्रेविंग उस दिन आपकी कम होती है. एंड बिलीव मी, आई हैव फॉलोड इट माई सेल्फ एंड इट रियली डज वर्क. खाना खाने बैठते हैं, dessert is there and you're very hungry and you start with dessert, you will feel like eating a little more. But if you have it after a full meal up, you'll be able to control the portion of your sugar.
So, what's your go-to healthy breakfast?
My healthy breakfast can be oats chila, it can be besan chila. I try to have a protein-rich breakfast. Or on weekends, it's a little deviation. The breakfast is decided by my husband what he's craving for. It can be a paratha also. It can be a pakoda also. So it's like the entire week I try to eat a balanced breakfast which is protein rich, because it gives me more energy for the day and I don't feel sleepy after it.
Great. Next question. Is it better to eat 3 large meals a day or multiple small meals and snacks?
See, 2 to 3 meals can be easily taken per day and it is recommended. Snacks, depending on the cravings. As I mentioned, sometimes not eating a snack in between meals really increases the appetite. So पता चलता है कि आपने चाहे एक रोटी खानी थी, अब 3 खा रहे हो और खाने के बाद भी भूख लग रही है क्योंकि कुछ खाया नहीं बहुत देर तक. So snack भी खाना चाहिए. Very important to eat a snack in between meals, and 2 to 3 main meals recommended.
Awesome. So, what's your favorite source of plant-based protein?
Plant-based protein, it is these soy chunks. So I have been using them very regularly, plus all the pulses and legumes. We have a 3-bean salad. It's a very common thing. Another thing can be hummus with vegetables. It's also a good source of protein.
Wow. So, name one superfood you would reconnect for overall health.
I cannot really reconnect with one food. It is a variety of foods. But for me, vegetables are very important because they really add, they give me a satiating feeling and they add a lot of nutrition to me in form of antioxidants and a lot of other micronutrients.
Which oil you use?
As I mentioned, we keep changing. So olive oil has a low smoke point, so good for sauteing and salads. And otherwise, I keep changing the oil.
That's cool. So, is it okay to indulge occasional cheat meals? What we discussed.
Of course. Why not? It's important
So
to treat
once
yourself.
a week it is okay.
Yes, absolutely okay.
So, guys, you should follow it.
So that is in a corporate world, 5 days is very busy. Saturday everybody
Yeah.
parties, and Sunday thoda discipline aana shuru ho jata hai.
So, what's your favorite healthy dessert?
I'm very fond of chocolates.
Okay.
So dark chocolate is what I try to eat, but though I'm fond of the regular ones also. So a small portion of a chocolate really takes care of my cravings. Plus it also adds on some good nutrition to me, and it can be with nuts also.
So, what's your stance on intermittent fasting?
I mean, it's something that is some research has happened on it, and intermittent fasting ka purpose ye hai ki most of the people these days are following intermittent to lose weight. With a busy lifestyle where it becomes very difficult to make some different food for yourself, or the family is eating a certain type of foods and you have to eat something else, becomes very difficult, then intermittent fasting plays a very good role, because it is not about controlling your meals. Each meal you have to plan just 2 meals, so it's a eating the eating pattern has been changed in that, and I do recommend. It is a good thing, but again, very important, should not be followed for youngsters. Anyone below 18, it should not be followed. Pregnant women needs to be very careful not to be followed. People with hyperacidity and migraine need to be very careful not to start intermittent fasting, because it can actually trigger migraine and hyperacidity. So and even diabetics on certain medication need to be careful. Otherwise, yes, it can be followed probably, but the timings need to be planned again. So probably your breakfast at 9, and your last meal you can have 8 to 16. There are different forms of it, like 8 to 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. Then the other is 5:2, which is again a very popular way for especially those people who have a very socially very active lifestyle. So they cannot have a eating window. So what they do, they follow, they try to, maybe a dinner can be a little late also in the evening, but 2 days in a week, like out of 5 days they've done that, 2 days in a week they are very disciplined. You can just have 500 to 600 calories, or probably eat a little less calorie dense food and eat more low calorie foods on those days. So that is another form of intermittent fasting. Dry fasting and extreme fasting is not recommended. So somebody who's doing 24 eat and 24 hours fasting, eat and stop eating, not recommended. Then there is another form of fasting that is being followed, is dry fasting, where no water is also consumed. That's very dangerous, should not be followed. So right form of intermittent for the right kind of person, it's okay, can be followed for maybe 3 to 6 months, but cannot be followed forever.
So, sea salt is healthier than regular salt. Is it a myth or a fact?
Salt is salt, whether sea salt or a regular packaged salt. So somebody who's on a restriction of salt need to be careful. So sometimes the doctors ask the patients to restrict their salt intake if they have high blood pressure, cardiac disease or kidney disease, or maybe for some other reason. So what they do कि हमने मैम normal salt बंद कर दिया, अब बस हम rock salt use करते हैं, we use pink salt. So what happens when you're replacing, you're actually compromising on iodine also, because जो आपका packaged salt है वो iodized salt है, and iodine deficiency से thyroid issues हो सकते हैं. So not really recommended to replace the packaged salt completely with rock salt. It can be a combination, and remember, even rock salt has sodium and the other salt also has sodium. So total salt intake needs to be reduced, and do not use rock salt as a substitute for regular salt. It can be, they can both be consumed together in small portions, which is 1 teaspoon generally, not more than that, of salt should be consumed in a day.
Very important, actually. So, brown bread is always healthy. Is it a myth or a fact?
So the brown color of the bread does not really decide that it is healthy. It can be just a color. It can be just caramelization. So आप उसका कभी label read करने की कोशिश करना, and the food item that is mentioned the first, that means that is the maximum quantity. So the brown color can be because of just color. It can be just because 10% of whole wheat has been added and 90% maida is there. It can be better off sometimes from the regular bread, but it is not the healthy option. If you really want to do, then read the label. It should be 100% whole wheat, or a millet bread can also be used.
And thank you so much for watching the show Bubble Chat at Morepen. Watch it, and if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe now. Bubble Chat at Morepen on YouTube. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.